why I'm like going ham on dancing. Don't know why. Always happens. Always. So you're probably gonna hear noises. And it's because I know I was late. Late. It's because there's a windstorm happening right now. And it's crazy. Crazy. Sorry, y'all. I should have been better prepared, but I'm never. Here we go. I need my glasses, guys. Hey, Jackie wifey. Hello, everyone. I know. Running late because I don't know how to do nothing on time. Nothing. Hey, James. I'm trying to like pull up the chat so it's a lot easier to see everyone's comments. There we go. How's everyone doing? I cannot believe I'm like dealing with a windstorm. I was in an Uber coming home. This guy was driving a Honda CRV, and that thing was a rocking and a rolling. Rocking and a rolling. I was like, am I gonna turn over? Like, I love the Pointer Sisters, but like, I don't want to be riding on a freeway of a wind. No, don't want to be doing that. Hey, twin. Jackie. Oh, I think I remember last time you said so is this like Sunday night regular work day? Or work night, I should say. I work Sundays as well, but I'm usually done by 7 o'clock my time. So yeah, it's a regular work day. I feel that. I get it. So our conversation tonight, everyone probably already knows. Let me just, y'all don't even know how much stuff I have around me when I'm doing these. I'm not a hoarder, but I like having a lot of stuff around me because my ass is lazy as hell and I don't want to have to get back up again. So I'll have like juice and like snacks and the remote. Because that's very important, people. Having the remote, very important. Okay, so our topic tonight, menstruation, periods, flow. I think Sultry had said monthly maintenance. I think that's what it was. Monthly maintenance. What else? What's another name that I heard? Time of the month. Tom. Oh, has Tom come to visit? That's the new one that I heard because I've never heard Tom before. Have you guys ever heard Tom? So yeah, periods. That's what we're talking about. And men, don't think that, you know, you can't be in on the conversation too. It's just that Aunt Flo, and I was like, I don't have an Aunt Flo. I don't even understand that. Because I actually heard it like in school the first time, and I was like, your Aunt Flo's coming to town. What kind of a name is that? Like Florence? Auntie Florence? Is that what you're saying? But yeah, I always said period. I never really had a nickname for it because I was just like, I'm going to forget it. So I'm just going to say my period. My menstrual cycle always sounded very upper class. Like, I'm currently on my menstrual cycle. But yes, for the men, if you are tuning in, I don't know. The red light district? I've heard so many crazy things. I think, what was the other one? It was like my red rag or something I don't even remember. Yeah, twin, we're period. Point blank, period. So the reason I wanted this to be the topic the last Friday for the females, at least focused primarily on females, is because I feel like it's such a taboo. Oh, moon phase, yeah. Jackie said I've heard moon phase. It's supposedly a Native American term. It definitely is. My mom worked at Indian and Northern Affairs Canada, so the particular branch of the government here that deals with just Indian and Northern affairs. On their rag, yes, twin, I've heard that too. And yes, moon phase is definitely a thing. That was actually how I learned in tracking it by the moon's phases. Like, I didn't really realize that you could track it that way, especially if I was on vacation, or back in the day before we had smartphones and calendars and apps to go off. I would track it with the moon, actually. So I would know if there was a full moon, I would know that, like, how many days that my period would be coming or something like that. It's actually not that hard to track by the moon's phases. But yeah, I've done that. But I feel like it's such a taboo thing when it comes to sex. And so I thought, why not talk about it? Why not talk about it with the men's and the women's? Because I'm going to tell y'all men a little secret, okay? Come a little closer. Women don't actually like their periods. Women don't actually like having a menstrual cycle. And it doesn't matter how long a woman has had it. It doesn't matter if she's 16 or 36. Hello, 36. You never get used to it, and you never like it. You never get used to it. No one gets used to it. You know what it's like? This is what it reminds me of. One of my nieces was diagnosed with diabetes, I think type 2, when she was 16. She hated needles. Like, she was the type to, like, literally freeze up and be bawling dealing with needles. So it's like, fast forward, she got diagnosed when she was 16. I was 17. We're just a year apart. Fast forward how many years later, and I'm like, it's great to see that you're over the whole being afraid of needles. And she was like, Skirks, I'm not afraid of needles. I'm sorry, I'm still afraid of needles. That didn't stop. I just have to deal with this. But I think sometimes men, you know what? And okay, this is the thing. I feel sometimes men think that, like, we're okay with it and we're knowledgeable on it and we are, like, it's totally fine. It's not a big deal. And it actually is a big deal. Because when you think about it, even women don't really think about this. If you were walking around losing that amount of blood from, like, a wound in your head, arm, leg, people would be really terrified. They'd be like, I need you to lay down. I need you to take a break. And not once would anybody be telling you, are you sure you didn't make that decision because you're on your period? Are you sure it's not because of that brain, that wound? I don't know if I could trust your decision making. He cut his leg, but he's acting real emotional right now. No one ever says that. No one ever. That's my thing. I get very annoyed. You've never heard a woman say they like it. But I think, yeah, I think they feel like we're comfortable with it. And a lot of us are not comfortable with it. Yes, and twin, we're going to talk about that too, because I'm going to talk about my own experience with watching my mother go through menopause. But we're never comfortable with it. It doesn't matter how long you've had it. This thing is so complex, and it's only recently that women have learned how much your menstrual cycle or just your reproductive organs regulates your entire body, that I was like, we need to talk about it in relation to sex. Because it's not, I used to think it was just men that weren't comfortable with period sex, but a lot of women are not comfortable with period sex. Like, a lot of women. So any women in the group, are you for or against period sex? And you can say why. I personally am for sex when I'm on my period. Obviously not the days that I have cramps and want to kill every living thing, including every male creature on this planet. But on a day 3 or 4, when I'm horny as fuck, because that's another thing. On my period, horny as ooh, like a dog in heat. Like, it's just, Twin says she's done it twice. Okay, so you said you've done it twice, but is it something that you like doing? Don't like doing? Was it your choice? Was it the other person's? I'm for it, but I have to be in the mood. I do get that, Jackie. My thing is, since my mid-20s, the horny factor is just so, oh my God. Like, I feel like the way that we portray most men, like, all I'm thinking with is my clit. Like, I'm just like, I need to fuck something. Just let me fuck. Like, just, my God. Like, if you don't have sex with me, I'm gonna die. I will die. Was married 11 years, never had period sex, just foreplay. And that's the thing. See, twin, that was the thing with the first person I had it with. That was the other thing. He loved the slipperiness because it's basically like being like a lot of liquid. I mean, that's what it is. But you're not for it. Okay, that's totally cool. For me, when I initially started, it was in the shower. And that was my decision, not even his decision. Because most guys are like, lay out a towel as long as it's not my mother's like good towel that she got monogrammed. I don't care. Like, that's usually what I got. I was like, lay out a towel. I'm not that intimate with I don't know if I'm comfortable with it. So yeah, shower, like Jackie said, yeah, shower was my thing. I was like, I'm comfortable in the shower. Until one day, period in the shower, and it's like these things, I swear to God, sometimes I feel like these things only happen to me. So we're in the shower, back shots, right? And he just, you need a lot of trust when you're in the shower with some back shots because water grip, not the greatest. And so he thrusted and I went like head first into the tile. And we both just stopped. He was like, are you okay? I'm like, let's not do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Not, I don't want to do shower sex anymore, but it was just that, it was like it all went together. Like everything, I was like, let's not do this anymore. So the next time was like in the bed with a towel, which, I don't know. It's weird. I think because I'm just slowly getting into the mess of sex, if that makes sense. Need balance because my foot went through the wall. You definitely, like, you need balance. You need grip. If they don't have a bath mat in the tub, like, you won't have problems. It was just the fact that both of us were like, okay, maybe this isn't gonna work. And then to make it even worse, like, I'm 5'10" and a half. He was like 6 something. I don't even remember. Like, we already big in the shower. Twisted ankle during sex in the shower. And that's the thing. It's you, the way that you hurt yourself is from you trying to prevent the fall, from you tensing up because you know you're about to like bang into something. I fall out of showers without sex, without anyone else there. I have fallen out of a shower. I wasn't even drunk. There were no narcotics or alcohol in my system, and I fell out of a shower. So as sexy as it looks on TV, it's dangerous, and y'all should really watch yourselves because it's dangerous. But yeah, so okay, so your wife, Sapio, loves, I'm guessing, loves period sex. How do you feel about it? Like, how do you feel having it? Because for me, it was men that were more comfortable with it. But then I've met guys who are like, ugh, I am not doing that. We ain't doing no periods. I don't do blood. Like, I don't even watch Grey's Anatomy. I don't do blood. But let me stick a finger in your ass. I'm like, what? 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 I feel like there should be consistency across the board. If you don't want to do one, you shouldn't want to do the other. Because, like, it's both nasty. If that's your judge of nasty, they both nasty. So you don't want to deal with something it will rinse off and everything's fine. But you want to put your finger where the sun don't shine and the poop come out. And you okay with that? It's weird because, it's weird because the sex is good, but then it looks like a crime scene. I just feel like, embrace the CSI. Like, you can embrace. Like, relent, relax, release. It's just, I've started getting to the point where I'm like, okay, it's just red dye. It's wine. I literally will convince myself. I'm like, it's just wine. But, okay, y'all say it looks like a crime scene. I be using dark towels. What towels are y'all using? Dark towels. Ooh, girl, you took like you went on like your second or third day. That's what I feel. You know what? I wonder if she'll let me. A friend told me a story. I'm just gonna say a friend told me a story of being with somebody, and it was like down his leg, like. And I mean, yes, it's gross. I know, y'all. Brown towel always. Brown, navy, black, black on black on black. Like, it's disgusting. It's not the greatest. I mean, no one wants to be covered. Ooh, and purple. Although I love purple, I don't know if I'd be like, are you worth using my purple towel? Survey says. Like, I don't know. Red beach towel and red. You know what? Yeah, but the thing is, James, not every girl's always red. You know what I mean? I'll just leave it at that. Not every girl is always red. But the thing is, we want you guys to be comfortable with it. There should be no problem with if a woman and a man both consent to having sex during their period. Go right on ahead. And I said during there because if you're dating somebody, if you're living with somebody, it's your period too. I'm sorry to say it. All the married men know that. It's yours too. Girl. Purple sometimes. I mean, but yeah, if you're married and in a relationship with somebody, living with them, it's your period too. So you might as well get used to it. Like, you might as well. If you want that pussy, you got to get used to that. So I asked a question on Instagram. Some of the annoying things that you would hear from men about your period. And twin, I saw yours and I was like, always. So there's, let's see, when are you going to be off? Wait, hold on. Most times we don't, though. What do you mean? Sorry, most times you don't. But as I said, I couldn't feel anything. So after that, wouldn't do it again. So you didn't feel, twin, are you saying you didn't feel anything? You know what? Okay, you say during marriage it was a no-fly zone. So it was her that was saying she didn't want to do it. Is that it? But Sapio, yeah, you said most times we don't, though. As in, you don't maybe lay out a towel? Is that it? So there's, when are you going to be off? I actually, y'all, my first boyfriend, not my first love, my first boyfriend, I know I said it. He told me, look, I don't deal with periods, so when you're on your period, we ain't seeing each other. Oh, every man, if you're dating a woman, you better have the app and you better be tracking her period if you really want to understand your, like, oh, damn, she didn't want to sleep in the same bed. You know what? I completely understand that. And that's why I'm like, if you both consent to it, have fun. But if you don't, that's fine. But yeah, so my first boyfriend, oh, Jackie, it was not low-key childish. It was the highest of keys childish, okay? Um, Sapio, I had an ex who would track, like, mine and be like, well, I know, you stressed and your back's probably hurting you. And I was like, you winning points, my nigga. Like, ah! I was just, you know what, though, Sapio, there are most apps that track both. Like, most of the menstrual cycle apps that I have will also do ovulation. And it's just like a switch in the app that you'll switch over to say that you are trying. But even the app that I have tracks ovulation. It'll let me know, hey, if you ain't trying to get pregnant, bitch, don't be fucking during this week. Just like that. Those exact words. That's what it says to me. But yeah, Jackie, he was childish. But I'm petty, so I was like, sure, no problem. I will not make plans with you during my period. And so for the next 2 months, I saw him almost every day. Like, almost every day or every other day. And then when the 2 months passed, I was like, so we really hung out a lot, over the past 2 months. And he was like, yeah, we did. Like, I love hanging with you. I was like, yeah. And I had my period for both of those months. And he actually stopped talking to me because that was a breach of respect. It was very disrespectful of me and dishonest, and he couldn't trust me. My response to that was, okay. First boyfriend. Yeah. Dishonest. Oh, petty as like, I always tell people, I have a sweater that says it. I'm petty and I'll let you know. I was like, oh, so you don't want to see me when I'm on my period? Okay. You're going to see me every day, nigga. Every day, or even every other day. At least enough to know that at least one of those days I was bleeding and you saw me. How you like them apples? Like, I was, what? You don't want to see me on my period? And then it was like, I went from him to dating a girl, which, I mean, it's not a big deal because we here. And then, because he's stupid, Sapio, cause he's stupid. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how he didn't figure that out. Cause I was like, we're at least seeing each other, like, within every week in a month. You would think, no, I saw her last week. I saw her the week before. And this week. So her period must be next week. So I won't see her. Like, you would at least think. But people that say shit like that, they don't think. And that's what I took advantage of. That he doesn't think. It was a beautiful thing, really. I just love the fact that it was like, I need to like take a break and really think about this relationship because, you disrespected me. I was like, well, you should probably go home and play some Boys to Men because I don't care at all. It was, oh my God. Yeah. And then went from that to the next black male that I dated was like, I was raised by a single mother. So there was no room to be like uncomfortable with, but like, cause your single mother is going to send you to buy pads. She's going to have you come into the bathroom when you know what I mean? So, it wasn't, he was like, I don't care. Like, that don't bother me. But one of the first times I was around a guy on my period actually was very uncomfortable. I don't know if any other woman felt that. Being around a guy when you're on your period, and I'm not saying your boyfriend and your husband you're comfortable with them. You're like, my nigga, onions. But he's like, babe, what'd you eat? Onions. Like, that's just normal. But somebody that you're dating, if you're dating someone on your period, Is it so natural that you don't even think about it? Is it in twin you can respond for like when you did have it? I for some reason will always feel uncomfortable around people. I think because I'm always assuming like something could happen. I get up in a certain way. I'm not my usual self. I'm like, hi guys. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just gonna get up. Like, try to stay as vertical as possible. The first time I sent my boyfriend to buy pads was hilarious. He was so embarrassed. And that's the thing. I don't, like, so many men have said that to me about being embarrassed. And I'm like, about what? Like, I promise you, the cashier knows it's not for you. And to me, I remember I think it was my brother or my cousin saying once, he was like, what's the point of feeling embarrassed? Because one, it's not for you. And two, it means you got a woman. Like, it means there's a woman in your life, whether that's your mom, your sister, or your girlfriend. It means you got somebody in your life, which is not much that most people can say, that they have someone in their lives. But, oh man, but he didn't know which ones to get. See, me, because I learned very early on, like, and I tell y'all all the time, being like a tall kid, even with my parents, like sending them to the store to get me something, I would literally actually got a Polaroid camera when I was a kid, and I would take pictures of stuff. My pads, I fully gave the wrapper, like the empty one, to my ex and was like, this is what you get. And if you come back with anything that is not this, I will kill you with my bare hands. I'll kill you. That's sweet, though. Him bringing 3 different kinds is sweet. I think it's sweet. Because it means he's at least like, shit, I really want to get this right. Because you know there's niggas that be like, I couldn't find it, so I just got soap. What am I going to do with soap, nigga? What am I going to do with soap? Aside from wash you out of my life, what am I going to do with the fucking soap? Like, and don't get me wrong, we're going to talk about it too, about PMSing, about premenstrual syndrome, and the many things that happen to us when that's happening. Okay, first of all, I want to say, menstrual cycle for me, stop referring to it like it's a sickness that we have. It's not a sickness. Yes, we get some of us get emotional, back pain, leg pain, the amount of shit that can happen. Headaches, migraines, constipation, diarrhea. It's like a Pepto-Bismol commercial, the amount of things that can happen to us and change on a different basis. I bought the whole case. My boy works at Walmart, so I was good. See, I used to, I shouldn't say I used to, because I still do, get them at Costco, because I'd be buying pads like maybe 4 times a year with what they give. But yeah, that's a good boyfriend right there, James, buying an entire box. That is a sweet ass boyfriend. But yeah, it's just don't act like the decisions I make are based off of the fact that for however long you're on it, I've suddenly gone crazy. Like, I haven't gone crazy. This is just me. It's all, like, if it happens once a month for the majority of my life, once a month for 30-something years, that's me. That's me, nigga. So you just dating somebody crazy. And my thing is, the crazy person is crazy. You really crazy for falling in love with me and dealing with me. Okay. I'm so wrong. This is usually what I tell guys. I'm like, they'll be like, you crazy. Yeah, and you fell in love with crazy. So who they gonna make fun of more? Me or you? Okay. So to the other questions, Jenna also said, yes, twin, when I was on, I was emotional. I don't even know if I was emotional. I would never get guys like telling me, oh, you must be upset because it's that time of the month. Like, I would get random stupid ass friends doing that. But usually on my period, I would be like, just don't talk to me, don't be around me, don't touch me, I'm good. Like, I just want to watch movies and not have anyone irritate me. Yes, and easily irritated, twin said. Another one, you still bleeding? Your mouth still work, right? Oh my God, I've actually gotten that one. Sorry, I don't really want to have sex. I'm on my period. Yeah, but your mouth still work though, right? It does. And you're lucky that I'm not using it to curse you the fuck out. Like, you're lucky that's not why I'm using it. Well, do my mouth work? Okay. All right, sir. But yeah, that's another one we hear. Or, I bet it don't even hurt that bad. Oh, chocolate, chocolate works wonders about everything. My ex would say that shit all the time. Like, and the joke was, men, especially if you have a girl that will give you head on a regular basis, so we'll say that she loves it, we probably would have given you head if you just hadn't muttered those words. If you hadn't muttered those words, you might have gotten head. But now that you've acted like, oh, well, I don't care that your body's going through this hormonal thunderstorm, hormonal, like, tornado. Can you suck my dick? Not even like in a nice way. Not even a question. I know you going through this windstorm. Suck my dick. No. I'm gonna go with no. Yeah. And now I'm pissed off because this meant nothing. This means nothing. All that you care about is this right now. And and most guys, I'm like, the joke is, if you just hadn't said nothing, if you said nan word, that's what you would have gotten. That's what you would have gotten. Because 9 times out of 10, like most of my female friends, when we're talking about being on our period, most of them are just as horny. Right? That's when you're like, it's time to go. I'm out. This is the only thing. Like, you didn't even stop to say, babe, are you okay? Can I make you some tea? Do you need a heating pad? Where's your heating pad, girl? Like, nothing. But does my mouth still work? Okay. Cool. Although I will say this, because I love anal, I kind of lean more towards that when I'm on my period. Anal. So I get that, but even with that, if I was on my period and I'm like, okay, I'm horny, and he's like, well, I guess since you're on your period, we're gonna have to do anal. We don't have to do anything. But you have to leave my house right now. Because then I will have to call the police to get you out of my premises. Like, some of y'all manses, I don't understand. I really don't. It's like, y'all read a book that says, how not to get the pussy on a consistent basis. And that's the thing. I mean, with anal, it has to be if you love it and are comfortable with it. And most people don't, unless you're in a relationship, you're not doing it consistently enough. A relationship, or like you would act like me doing anal masturbation. Unless you're doing it, it's not something that you're sticking consistently with. So I get not even thinking about it when you're on your period and feeling horny. So it's like the same things you would think about when you're not on your period, you're still going to think about when you're on it, in terms of what turns you on and what you love to feel. So yeah, that's, period sex was mainly it. And I'm glad to see that, like, most people are like, either I like it or I don't like it, but it's your decision. It's not, oh, well, I don't really like it, but my man pressures me into having sex on my period. If anybody tried to pressure me into having sex, like, that's actually worse than if I was on my period. You telling me to do something that I don't want to do is worse than any emotion I could have on my period. Because I'm even more evil that way. Like, at least on my period, at some point, I'm gonna be like, just give me chocolate or like some salty ass chips, and I'll be good. I will forget whatever it is that we're arguing about. But you think you're gonna tell me what to do? Nigga, I will cuss you whether I'm on my period or not on my period. Whether it's Tuesday or Friday, you telling me what to do is gonna make me cuss you. That's how it go. You telling me what to do is gonna make me cuss you. So you bring it on yourself. You bring it on your damn self. I'm not doing nothing I don't want to do. Especially as we get older, I feel like obviously when you're younger and you think, oh, this boy or this girl, like, I just want them to love me. And now I'm like, nigga, here's the thing. At the end of the day, 24 hours, I'm always tired. That's one thing that's never gonna change. If you ask me, how you doing? I'm tired. I'm always tired. I don't want to go out as much. I want to be home. I want to chill on my couch. I want to watch some movies. Like, just roll along with it. Roll along with it. Roll along with it. James, you said during period, I had a checklist. Kit Kats, Lay's chips, heating pad, massage oil for her feet. That's very sweet. I personally don't. My whole thing is when I'm on my period, another thing that most women don't, they're not taught to track is their body temperature. You're really just taught to track your body temperature when you are ovulating or trying to get pregnant. But I would track my body temperature because I realized when I'm on my period, my body temp would go up, which would mean, for me at least, like a person who's always cold, I would suddenly be walking around in like a t-shirt and shorts in January. And my mom would be like, oh God, child, put some blasted clothes on. I'm like, woman, I'm hot. I can't. It's too hot in here. Take off all my clothes. Like, I would track that. I would track my body temperature. I would track exactly what I was eating, drinking during that time, because there's so many different things that changes. Like, it's not even just the cravings, which is great, James, that you were bringing her the stuff that she likes, but the amount of things, like even the app I have, I wish I could show you, but I'm using my phone for the video, but the app I have, Flow, will track, like, letting you know after a while, oh, usually the week before you get back pain. Sometimes 4 days before you get this. Oh, your cramps usually start on this day. Like, to the point where you could start tracking. But like, I knew guys that did that. It's really funny when it's true, when you're really in a relationship with somebody and you're, I don't want to say you care enough, but you know what I mean? Like, you put in the effort for it. I knew guys that, just like James said, like, all right, her period's coming up. I need to have certain snacks in the house. I need to pick my battles this week. Like, there's not, let's just leave this alone. We ain't gonna talk about the contractor, or the this or the that, because you know, we in a zero fucks mode. Zero fucks. Like, the only thing I care about is whatever's happening here. I want it to stop. I just want it to stop. And for myself and women who deal with any sort of, I know I'm gonna mess this up, but like any disease or condition having to do with your reproductive organs. For myself, I have cysts, I have fibroids, but I knew friends who had, I think it's PCOS, endometriosis, just so many different things that it makes it a little bit more difficult. It makes it a lot more painful. And it's hard to talk about it when you don't even know your own conditions, when you don't even know if you've been diagnosed properly. Yeah, my ex had 2 periods a month. James, I literally, like, if I didn't go on birth control, if my mother had not put me on birth control, there were times that, like, 6 weeks and I'm still going. And I was lucky enough that I had a mother who also dealt with fibroids and had to have a partial hysterectomy, that I knew what to expect. But a lot of women don't know. They don't know if it's in their family history. They don't know that they don't need to be taking medication, or medications prescribed by by certain doctors. You don't have to be taking that. There are other ways to get through it. And I think now it's a little easier. Ooh, Jackie, pelvic congestion syndrome. Please tell us about that. That's what I never had a problem with, cysts fibroids. Twin, be so glad you didn't, because I learned at 10 or 11, that's around the age that my mother had her partial hysterectomy, just how how painful that was, how much it can change a woman, especially going into early menopause. Your mother and your sisters did, though, so you have an understanding just of seeing them, or even being the person dealing with them dealing with it, because everyone gets affected in something like that. For me, a large part of my family has it on my mother's side, along with the breast cancer gene. So yeah, it's not it's not as easy. And even with that, like, for example, it could be that around your period, not even your period hasn't started yet, but sex can be a little bit more painful. I thankfully didn't have any cravings, but I had the worst cramps and vomiting because of them. Yes, I know a lot of people who their cramps get so bad that they get violently sick. Twin said your middle sis had bad cramping and bleeding. Yeah, I actually have to take blood clotting medication. Usually the first, or yeah, the like right before it's about to start. If I know it's about to start, I have to start taking that, because it's to the point where, hey Phantom, it's to the point where like, you really have to think of it, especially men, if you're disgusted by this whole thing. I always tell guys to think of it like a injury, like somebody got cut on their hand. So your girl is bleeding profusely for 5 days. Anybody bleeding profusely for 5 days would be disoriented, would not feel well, would be frustrated and stressed. And so treat her like somebody who is bleeding, not like, oh my God, you're upset again, and blah, blah. Treat it more like someone who is injured and needs rest and needs just care. That's really all it is. Like, even the strongest and hardest of women just want to know that you care. Like, you care about the fact that they're going through this. That's what I mean. Obviously, if you're with that person, you care about them, but they want to know you care that you care that I'm in pain. You care that I don't feel well. So Jackie says, it's just a horrible pelvic pain that isn't alleviated by anything but laying down pain meds prior to onset. Okay. So it's a lot. And I didn't realize till from my mom just how much these conditions, with your syndrome, with other women and stuff that they go through, like it's sadly very common, especially in our community. It's very common. And a lot of us don't know a lot about it. Because even when I would talk, I was like, what are fibroids though? And she was like, they're just cysts. I'm like, okay, but where do they come from? Like, why are they here? What do they want? Why are they troubling us? What do we do to get rid of them? Like, and my mom didn't even really know much. And it was just from me being a complete friggin' nerd that when I love something, I need to research the fuck out of it. Was me researching and figuring out how much of my life this was going to take over. That was really it. I was like, I just need to know how much is this going to affect my everyday life. And yeah, because even for me, at least, with fibroids, with cysts, depending on where they are, for example, mine, I have a clusterfuck, that's what I call them, the clusterfuck of cysts, and it's on most of them are surrounding my right ovary. Yeah, right ovary. So it's actually like closest to my hip. So I've had sex with guys at a certain curve and it hurts. And I'm thinking, okay, it's because of his curve. He's thinking it's because she can't take dick. I could take dick. Fuck telling people I can't take dick. I could take dick, motherfucker. But really, it was from the angle that he was hitting was like, even lightly, was like tapping those cysts. So I would feel pain, like excruciating pain. And it wasn't anybody's fault. It was just our angle, and the nigga was an asshole. But you know, no one's fault really. But yeah, and those are things that women, we don't know. We don't even know to talk about. You have to have 3 cysts removed. I actually have to get, I have to have surgery to have them removed soon. But yeah, it's such a common procedure, and that's the thing. If it's common, that means it's happening to us a lot on a regular basis. And these are, by the way, men, these cysts are all benign. They're just non-cancerous growths. Some of them actually get bigger when she's on her period and shrink back down. Because for the longest while I had them and they were very small, but they cause immense pain, especially pain during sex. And so I wouldn't say, you know, every girl you fuck now, if she's like, you're like, do you think maybe you have a condition or a syndrome having to do with your uterus? Please don't do that, okay? As much as I teach y'all stuff, please don't be laying in bed with a woman and be like, so I sensed that you were having some pain, and even though I know that my penis is quite ginormous, do you think maybe you have fibroids or cysts? Here's a pamphlet. Go talk to your local doctor. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. But if you are with somebody and they consistently have pain, because it can also be a condition called vaginismus. I think I said that right. And that can cause women immense pain on like entry, and then even just the back and forth of going in and out. And so most women think, oh, it's me, his dick is too big, whatever. So it helps to know that there are reasons for this happening. It's not because you suck. It's not because she sucks. I mean, we all should be sucking, but that's not the reason. The reason could be she may have a condition. Like for me, I knew about it. I knew about my fibroids. My mother had gone through that at such an early age. So, see, and twins said I had a pelvic ultrasound and they only found a tiny fibroid, but that was it. Everything was intact. And that's the thing. Sometimes when they're really tiny and they know it's not going to affect you, they're like, there's no point of us going in. Because we could do more damage than good. A lot of doctors I've heard that from. For me, they're like, it's taking up everything. We gonna have to take it out. We gonna have to move all these bitches out. So I have to have surgery. But yeah, I don't know, how was your, Karen Dell, how was your surgery for the 3 cysts? Was it a day thing? Because I'm told it's now just like a day surgery that you go in, general anesthesia, and then you're back out like nothing. And he was like, you won't really be able to do, like, you won't be able to go to the gym or anything like that. I was like, my nigga, I don't go to the gym. What you can answer though, am I able to eat McDonald's right afterwards? That's what I really need to know. Am I able to do, is that not important? Okay. Mademoiselle, you said, are fibroids genetic? To an extent, they can be. I mean, like as Twin said, she didn't have them. She had like one tiny one, but her sister and her mom dealt with it more. With my family, my mom and most of my aunts. So my mom is one of 5 girls. Most of my aunts. Yes, it was, okay, so Carindale said outpatient and was under general anesthesia. So that's what they've told me, the same thing. But yeah, so they say that they're genetic to an extent, and that women in the Black community, we suffer from them the most. But yeah, it's weird to me because I've always known about them, and yet I've met people, even friends, when I have to explain to them, like, for example, when I'm on my period or leading up to it, I was in, you said you were in the hospital for 4 hours, but the procedure only took an hour. Yeah, because, I mean, Most of what takes long in the hospital is you're being checked in and going from this room and that. That's what takes the longest. The surgeries are usually like 2 minutes compared to that, and then your recovery is another thing. I just want apple juice, like, because every time I go in the hospital, y'all, I'm gonna rant right now. Every time I have to go in the hospital, they gonna be like, "You want some orange juice?" No, bitch. I don't like orange juice. I don't want it. I want apple. And they look at me like, "But you're not 7." I don't care. I like apple juice. That's what I want. I get very coming off of anesthesia, I am like a tyrant. I'm just like, "Why are you talking to me? Where's my apple juice? Where's my mom?" Like, I'm crazy. Recovery was the longest. I woke up with a migraine and wanted to eat something crunchy. What do you want to eat that was crunchy? What do you want to eat, girl? Some pussy cream? But no, that shouldn't be crunchy though. My cousin had to get a hysterectomy because her fibroids got to the size of a grapefruit. That's funny. You should say that, twin. That's the size of one of mine. It's a grapefruit. That's what the doctor said. It was the same with my mom. My mom had a partial hysterectomy, but all of my aunts had full hysterectomies. One of my cousins did, and so there's always that. I mean, women already have the pressure of like, when are you gonna have kids? When you gon'? Like, we already have that pressure because our bodies unfortunately have a timer. But then when you have fibroids, they'll usually tell you that one of the best things to help having fibroids is having kids. That's what they told my mom. They said, once you have a kid, it'll be easier. It wasn't. Like, it was for a bit, I think she said, but then her body was like, "Ha, tricked you. We just went on vacation, but we back, bitch. We back. We about to turn up and cause some pain." Like, it's not gone for that long. Like, and it's funny to me that that's the thing. They say that in the States, most doctors prescribe the pill as like this fix everything type of thing. And then 2 is the having a kid. Any syndrome. I know friends who have had PCOS, who've had cysts as well, fibroids. It's like, but if you have a kid, that'll cure everything. And who's telling me this? A male doctor. Some man who has never had a uterus telling me if I have a child, everything will be fine. How you know? How you know? Because your wife tell you. Your wife don't even tell you when she don't orgasm. But she go tell you that having a baby saves she life from 5. Man. Me and know these doctors, I really don't know. So these are my sister, genetic. Both of my aunts had them. My mom had them, and 3 of their cousins had them. Yeah, and that's like my family. It's a lot of women that had it, enough so that my mother felt my girl child of 10 years old needs to know what's happening, especially because for my mother, she recognized that there was going to be a hormonal shift. And going from a mother who like did not swear in front of me at all to suddenly being like, "What the fuck? How you fucking?" I was like, "Why is my mom swearing at me?" Like, it was just so she more explained it like, "Mommy's gonna be changing and things are gonna be different. It is not your fault." Especially because my mom initially started off on hormone replacement therapy. She eventually came off of it, but yeah, she did it because she was like, "I want you to know this isn't you, although it's gonna seem like you, but it ain't your fault. It ain't your fault." Did I do that? So yes, the cysts I can definitely understand, but of course I found out about this about a month before my surgery. These idiots like to keep secrets. That's the other thing. Like, families, women especially, like to keep stuff to the grave. To the grave. I'm not saying men don't either, but women especially. And that's the thing. Women should really be talking to. I only find like of a certain generation and younger, so probably like twin, your generation and younger, were more like, no, I'm gonna talk to my daughter because I remember what that was like, not having a mom who talked to me about it. That was my mom's story. Like the things that she didn't experience with my grandmother, she was like, I want us to have. Twinny said, now my gynecologist wanted to give me a partial hysterectomy when I was going through menopause because I would be bleeding for weeks on and off and losing blood. And that's the thing. They go instantly to, let's just take it out. Let's cut out the bad part. That's what it is. And in my mom's generation, same thing. When that partial hysterectomy was like, let's take it out. And they're only now realizing, oh shit, when we take out a woman's uterus, it like fucks her up, yo. Like she gotta be taking hormones and shit for a long time. Like with my mother, her symptoms of menopause. Like I used to find it funny because girls would be like, I hate my period. I can't wait to get to menopause. Like I can't wait to stop having my period. And I was like, menopause is not, it's not a vacation, y'all. It's really not. Like you're lucky if it doesn't affect you as badly, but it's not a vacation. My mom, from going through early menopause for a good 20 years, it took for her to get sort of feel regulated in her symptoms, feel like herself again, because those who y'all think your period is the devil? Y'all ain't seen. My mother used to be like, and twin, I don't know if you can speak on which symptoms you had, but the sweats, the, what do they call it? Like the, not cold sweats, but hot flashes. Thank you. My mother's hot flashes were like, I mean, I knew hot flashes, okay, you're gonna suddenly just have a burst of heat go through you. But it was literally like talking to my mother and then turning away, and I turn back and she looks like she just took a shower in her clothes instantly. And it's scary when you're just like, I was just looking at you and now you're drenched and like begging me to open a window or something because she just can't and I'm like, what the fuck what just happened? Especially when she has a child who is always cold. So I would go into my parents' house sometimes, and my mom is in like the room all the way at the back of the house, and it's freezing. It's like minus 27 in that little room because she has the window open, and she feels amazing, and I'm like, Mom, can I just borrow? Someone just give me a blanket. Like I'm just like, I'm gonna just wrap my head in it because I'm freezing. And that's the thing. My mother would. So you get the hot flash and you're drenched in sweat. Twin just mentioned it. And then you'd get cold and you want to be covered up because you're drenched in sweat. Then that gets you cold because it's basically water on your body just making you cold. And then she would be in a constant state of like, let's say we would have like a TV marathon. My mom loves Say Yes to the Dress. So if we were watching a marathon, it would be a constant like covered with the blanket, flinging it off because she's dying of heat, to then bring it back, like getting her a towel so she could wipe her face. It was just, it's not, trust me, y'all, women, not any better. And yes, twin, most of the time it was at night. Also, insomnia. My mother used to be able to like sleep and get, and y'all know, I mean, most of you who deal with children, the moms in here, you have a eventually when your child gets to a certain age and you can form a schedule, you know exactly what time you got to go to bed in order to get up in the morning to get your kids ready for school and stuff like that. And my mother was very much like, she could fall asleep at the drop of a hat. And now it's like she's up sometimes the same times I am, like 3, 4 in the morning. And yes, she's retired, so it's okay. But when she wasn't retired, and because she went through early menopause, that happened when she was in her mid 40s. So yes, mademoiselle, food, and I saw Twin wrote that, food can cause hot flashes as well. The insomnia, getting allergies. My mom would suddenly just start sneezing for like no reason whatsoever. So it's all these, and just think about it. So you see somebody out. This is why I used to tell people, like, try not to, especially Black women, because we tend to judge each other. And it's mostly because of our own insecurities. But you're out and you see a woman standing off to the side, and you know as Black women, she don't necessarily look like she old, and she's suddenly sweating, and I'd have friends be like, oh my God, like she's sweating through her, oh my God, girl, she must be embarrassed. I'm like, we don't even know if she's dealing with hot flashes. Like, y'all, we need to stop. We gotta be more on like the going instantly to a positive than a negative. But yeah, it happens. Twin, you said you're started at 35. Exactly, Auntie. I live in Florida, and my family and I learned to live with a sheet on our beds and a down comforter 24/7, 365, because we never knew if we were gonna wake up and be freezing or sweating. And that's the thing. Like, I think Black people, we just do that naturally. We're like, look, we preparing for anything. It could be cold. It could be hot. Like, because you'll go on vacation and your mom will be packing like a swimsuit, and you're like, but Mom, aren't we going on a ski trip? And you might need this. You should also pack a shorts and an umbrella and a raincoat. Mom, I didn't hear anything about rain. It don't matter. Pack it. And I'm the type of person, I think it's a West Indian thing, Karen. No, that's probably what it is for us, that I need a sheet. I need to cover with a sheet. I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, not just the fact that it's a West Indian thing, but like, how do you guys protect yourselves from monsters under the bed if you're not covered with a sheet? Come on now. Come on. My comforter stays on my bed 24/7, 365. Just like Twin. Just like Sultry. Like, come on now. Plus, it protects me. I'm sorry. You call it crazy, Twin, all you want. It protects me from the monsters. That's the only way. You don't hang your feet off the bed for no reason, and you're always covered. See, Mademoiselle knows. You gotta be prepared. Jenna, how can you hate sheets? Okay, so then how do you protect yourselves from the monsters? How? Because I guarantee you this, if you wake up and you don't feel right, or like your toes hurt or anything like that, you think it's morning pains, bitch, that's a monster. That's a motherfucking monster. Monsters can't penetrate sheets ever. Like, come on now. Everybody knows that. Holy water and a prayer. No one ain't got no holy water. And I know you ain't tossing no holy water. Toes always got. Can I give you all a good tip too that my mom gave me? Because she's just like a crazy drunk ass thug. Don't tell her I said that. Don't tell her I said that. Mom, I was paid to say that. My mom taught me, when you really want to like curl up in the summertime, summertime, you just want a little sheet on you. You want to curl up? Put yourself in a fitted sheet, y'all. Fitted sheet, your feet are always tucked in. The sheet stays on your shoulder. No matter what you doing, that sheet stays up. Girl, I was like, Mom, you're crazy. Don't nobody sleep in a fitted sheet. Fitted sheet is for a bed. It's not for a body. But goddamn, it was the smartest thing I ever did. I was like, my feet are always tucked in. And I love my feet tucked in. See, Jenna, I don't even know how we're friends. How are we friends? You wear socks to bed? I can't wear socks to bed. How does that sound awful? Having your feet tucked in sounds so amazing. I can't sleep in socks. I just can't. I tried. I just can't. See, Twin, we're so the same. I can't sleep in socks. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Can't do it. No, I can't do it. Like, oh my God. See, Mademoiselle, my mama would love you. Fitted sheet tuck is. I didn't realize. Why y'all ain't sharing this with people? I didn't know. Okay, that makes sense. Having panic attacks under the sheets, Jenna, and it started as a child, that makes sense. Phantom, you wear socks to bed? I don't even know you right now. I don't even know. The fitted sheet is just so. I just love that. I was like, let me turn and get it fried. Oh, you still on there? I like this. Like, I wear socks only if it's -50. Mademoiselle, I agree with you. And even then, halfway through the night, I'm probably going to take them off. Like, they usually get ripped off in the middle of the night. So, also too, because, I'm sorry y'all, because I know I bring it up all the time, but because I'm tall and my feet are ginormous, trying to find cutesy, like fuzzy winter socks never happened. I would get like proper like Canadian lumberjack wool socks. And when you're trying to look cute with your friends because they've all decided to have like a slumber party ting, and everyone got them cute furry socks as Jenna described, and you walk in with like Canadian lumberjack wool that is actually itching your foot and causing a slight rash. I'm triggered. Emotions taking me over. Girl, my foot is a 10 and a 9/8. It's an 11. My foot is definitely an 11. It's an 11. And when people say they make socks for an 11, they really just expect you to fit your foot at any point in it. So most of the socks that I've gotten that fit well is because I've knitted them myself. Real talk. Because sometimes a girl wants something cute. Like I want a purple. I don't want black and blue and white because that's really all y'all be making for men. Like, hey Jackie, oh you drive? Okay girl. Yeah, like girl, thank you. Just let me know where I can get me some cute ass socks. See, and twin, that's the thing. Like that's another thing. When you short, your knee socks are my ankle socks. And I don't say that as a judgment to your height. I just mean literally I'll get all excited and then be like, this don't go to my knee. It's like thigh highs for the longest while. Thigh highs were thigh buys to me, okay? They barely touched my thigh. They didn't stay on my thigh. Y'all know. Any black woman that got beautiful ass curves and legs knows. Thigh highs, most of them used to be thigh buys. Like they would, and especially when they start to roll, they'll roll down the leg. It hurts. It hurts so much. Thigh buys. Thigh buy. Like I had one guy that like tried to get me in like the outfit. Thigh highs, the garter snapped, it cut my leg. And he was just like, I just really want to see you in that outfit. And I was like, do you want to see me in this outfit more than you want pussy? Because that's what's on the table right now. So like, what you gonna choose? Do you want to see the outfit or do you want the pussy? What you gonna choose? It's so bad. And it's such a universe, especially black women. Like, I think the only place I've ever bought thigh highs that like were gold, funny enough, American Apparel. And that's because it was knitted so it could stretch as much as it needed to. And I knew girls about 3-4 times bigger than me, and those were right like up over the knee onto the thigh, and they stayed. Like they relatively stayed. I actually used to buy a bunch of those and wear them underneath my work pants in the winter because I hated wearing stockings. Oh God, stockings must have been created by a white man, because a white man who hated women. So you know what, girl, in the same way I said socks don't exist for me, trust me, those thigh highs from American Apparel used to be, I was like, how are they fitting me? My legs are the longest part of me and they fit. Yes, Torrid, I've been told that too, Jenna. Torrid has some great thigh highs. My friends have bought from them and are like, yup, and they stay up, girl. I was like, what? Stay up for what? Jackie said, I used to work at a novelty shop that sold thigh highs, and that was the main complaint from other women, is all wanting them to stay up. Because you see the lingerie picture online, or, you know, back in the day, you saw the mannequin, you saw in a catalog, and you want to feel that sexy. You're not saying you want to look like that exact model, but you want to feel sexy. Yeah, twin, you should try getting them from Torrid. Torrid has really great thigh highs. You know what else they have? I don't know if any of you guys experience this. My fingers are like as big as a guy's and they're extremely long. So sometimes trying to find rings in female size is hard, and Torrid has amazing, like, cute rings that actually fit if you have thicker fingers. They're really good for that too. But yeah, menopause is for any girl or woman who has thought like, I can't wait for menopause. Please don't stop thinking that. Don't rush the process. I wanted to feel like Susan. And was all you know. I wanted to feel like Susan so bad, especially when Susan's like on the beach in the. That's what it. You think I'm not gonna put on the same outfit and try to pose in the mirror? Like, I'm gonna look like Susan. Hold on. She had her leg like, okay, my leg can't do that. So we're just gonna sit like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay. Is that it? Is that the look? Take the picture quick. Take it quick. Like, I'm gonna do the exact same pose. So Torrid has some really great stuff. They really do. Even what is it? Their boots and wide sizes for your because sometimes you could be a certain shoe size and you're fine. It's bigger. Ooh, I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Most people don't even realize that. The thing is, like, when you model and you take a picture, you realize it's very uncomfortable. When you see those models and it looks like, oh, I'm just lounging, they're real, like, this is not, I'm just lounging on my couch, guys, like this, naturally. No, that's not natural. Natural is my belly out with wing sauce on my face, but you know. I'm not saying that's gonna happen or it's like ever happened yesterday or anything like that, but yeah, that's natural. They have very cute shoes, twin. I love Torrid. I really do. Even they have great sales on winter coats. Like once, like see like March, April, they have really great sales on like some work/professional winter coats. If that's what you're looking for, if you're trying to change your wardrobe and you're like, I'm about to step in here like Olivia motherfucking Pope. Definitely. They have great. And they recognize that just because sizes go up or go wider doesn't mean women don't still want to wear color. Don't mean women don't still want to feel sexy. I still want to feel sexy. You found out, Twin said, I found out about it when I was in Cali last September. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh my God, that was last September already? Jackie said, yeah, those model pics are a lie. They're all a lie. Like when you really pay attention, like some of them are like, I'm sitting on the edge of the couch with my stomach slightly curved and my head looking off in the distance. And I'm happy. No, she's not. She actually has a back cramp. Like, cramping. Those beach photos, they ain't fun. Especially because usually you have to film summer shoots in the winter and vice versa because you're filming like you're taking pictures from the year before. So like summer 2019 they'd be taking pictures for the winter 2020 collection. It's not fun. You're cold and you're wet and you've got sand stuck to your bottom and someone's telling you to look sexy, and then if you don't, you're difficult. Being a woman. Another thing about your period that a lot of people don't talk about, hair loss. Even in menopause, you can start losing your hair. I'm laughing because I'm like, men really are just like, bitch, you on your period again? My nigga, do you know what I go through? Do you know? My goodness. But yeah, hair loss is definitely another thing. And for women, this is, you know what, I'm not gonna say for women. For Black people in general, Black women, Black men, we love our hair. It's our crowns. And since the dawn, I mean, when you look through the eras and Black people with their hair, we did our best to take great care of it. You know what I mean? So yes, mademoiselle, on your period, you can get hair loss, menopause for sure. And it's not lovely hair loss. It's patches. It's actual patches. And Jenna, see, that's the thing. Most women, most men, it's usually like a male thing to worry about baldness. But for women, it's a very big thing. Like for me, I know, especially after seeing my cousin go through breast cancer, and I have a niece who deals with alopecia, but I'm shaving it. Like, and it doesn't matter how open you think people are, people will still make fun of somebody who's going bald. Doesn't matter what, like they just do. Unless it's like they know that you have it because you have cancer or sickness or whatever, people still make fun of it. And people, and black people especially, we're still gonna feel embarrassed by it. Yeah, Twin said that's why she stopped the perms when she was going through menopause. A lot of people I've heard that it's very similar to when you're pregnant. You just you don't want those chemicals. Your body can't take it. My mother ended up having dreadlocks, and then she ended up cutting those off. But yeah, she had dreads because it's just, you over it. And my mom was like, after so many years of, styling and going to the salon and all those things, like being natural, just, she was like, yeah, it's still, I mean, any woman knows, any woman with natural hair knows, natural hair does not equal easier compared to perm. But there are things we can get away with that we couldn't when our hair was permed, because you have to stick to a schedule. I don't know if you guys were, I'm just plugging in my charger. I can't believe I forgot to plug in a charger, like it wasn't gonna die. But I know a lot of women who, for myself, when my hair was permed, I had to stick to the schedule. I had to get my hair permed at exactly the 6-week mark, or I would have breakage. Whether I did it early or after, there'd be like huge amount of breakage. I was shedding like a dog. Good God. It's just, yeah. So menopause can bring hair loss. And women, it's not part of our subject today, even though it's about menstruation. I just want to say again, please be doing your breast exams. You're supposed to do them monthly. I would say, even if you coordinate it with something like, you know what, my first day of my period, when my breasts are really sore, that's when I'm going to do it, because it helps to just rub it out. And I always say to do a breast massage, and eventually it just feels so good that you forget that you're giving yourself a breast exam. But very important thing. Also, I always remind people, you need to check the armpits, well into your armpits, because usually this is where your lymph nodes are when it comes to your breasts, and that can be a spot that cancer can hide in. And so most women kind of just focus on their boob and forget about everything else around it. You want to get the armpits right up in there. Check in for stuff. And also, if you are in a relationship, your partner can help with that too. Because let's be honest, if you're in a relationship, 9 times out of 10, your partner is probably touching your boobs way more than you are. And so I would say include them in on it. Because with my ex, it was a lot easier for him to tell me if something feels different than it did before. Because for me, if I'm touching it once a month and that nigga's trying to fill me up every day, he would know more than I would. Even if he doesn't realize it, he would know a lot more than I would for checking for things, because in our community, it's very big, Black community, and a lot of us as women are not being as diligent in our breast exams. So I just want to take that little moment to drop that in. But yeah, our subject mainly, Twins like, I always touch my boobs. My mom used to say, my mom said to me once, if you don't touch your boobs, you shouldn't expect anybody else to. And I stuck with that. This used to be like my comfort thing. I would like, to comfort myself, I would just give myself like 2 rubs. Like, we could get through this. All right, break. Like that was my thing. It would make me feel better. And so I understand when men are like, sometimes they just want to put a hand on it when they're sleeping. And sometimes that hand starts squeezing you. And funny you say that, Jenna. Jenna said, anytime I'm cold, I have a handful of titty. I was a girl guide. And they say the same thing. If you were in a situation where you have the potential for frostbite or hypothermia, you want to put your hands in your folds. So that is like the crook of your arm, behind your knees, between your legs, and your boobs. Your hands, those are the places that you would get the most warmth. Your armpits. But yeah, that's what you do. My boob, you touch your boobs first thing in the morning. I'm more just like, they're just there. They're always doing something, especially morning. It's like either they're half out of my tank top, or one sticking out of the blanket. Like, it's just, I'm always like, well, good morning, ladies. How are y'all doing? Let's get ready for work. Like, but I don't even think about it sometimes how much I touch them, because they're there. So I don't really think about it. Mademoiselle said, it's my son, titty boy. You know what? I'm sorry. I truly believe black men who love to touch up titties when they're younger, because that was my nephew. Any woman just, or like laying on your chest and want to rub his face in it. They're actually very like sensitive men. Most breast men that I know that started off that way, like, they have stories of aunts or moms being like, no, he always loved titties. They're very sensitive. And when I say sensitive, I mean like sensitive to other people. They're like in thinking of other people. It's very sweet. Yep, unconscious. Twin said unconscious touching. That's just, I don't know what it is. I won't even think about it. I'm just like, it's just, they're here. So, you know, I'm going to touch them. Sultry, I remember you saying that you don't even bother with tank tops. Sometimes I will, and especially when my nipples were pierced, I wore tank tops just to avoid the rubbing and anything happening while I was sleeping, because I didn't want to wear a bra. I don't know how people can wear a bra to bed. With an underwire, I mean, by the way. So yeah, I would wear tank tops to sort of keep my boobs not going all over the place, especially because when I sleep, I'm by myself. I will twist and turn and literally like try to choke myself with the blanket. If I'm with somebody, I'm always mentally aware that someone's on the bed, but by myself, I've woken up sometimes and like almost falling off the bed, and the only thing that's protecting me is the fact that the blanket is so tangled around me that it stops me from falling off the bed. Yeah. Twin said, I know. Who wears a bra to bed? Like one with an actual underwire, to me, that's pain. It's already painful on a regular basis. Like, that's why most women, when you watch your woman walk through the door and you're like, baby, one of the first things she's trying to do if she doesn't have to pee is take that motherfucking bra off. Like, then talk to me after that bra's off. Twin said, I strip that sucker off when I come home. Like, and sometimes I've been home and been like, why do I feel so miserable? What the fuck? Why's my bra still on? Like, I've done that. My bra is really still on right now. It shouldn't be. And then I take it off and I realize, oh, I feel so much better. Because especially if a bra fits a woman really well, it should be tight, like to the point of almost slightly cutting into her circulation from the bottom, because that's where you should be getting most of your support, is from the bottom. Any woman who's feeling shoulder pain, a lot more shoulder pain, you're not getting enough support from here. It should be tighter. And so there's already that. So there's this tightness. Then there's this, the shoulder pain. There's the back pain. And if her breasts are bigger, all of those things are just amplified. Like, and I take off my boobs, and the first thing you want to do is look at them titties. Especially if I'm on my period. Most women around their period, this is sore and tender and super sensitive. Ooh. Mademoiselle said, I've fallen asleep with an underwire bra on and woke up in the middle of the night and stripped that Ross off. Girl, like, Jen said, this is why I switched to bralettes. And that's the thing. That's why I said without an underwire. I understand a bralette, because there's like, it's basically like wearing a crop tank top, I think. And like I said, when I got my nipples pierced, there were times that I wore a bralette just because I moved around so much when I slept. I am a stomach sleeper, as bad as it is. And I'm the type that, like, I will start off on my side or back and wake up on my stomach. So, yeah, I understand wearing a bralette. That's fine. But, like, proper underwire bra, I heard of women who do go to bed in it, and I have no clue how they do that. Because I even have, like, I have scars from my bras. Every woman knows an underwire poking out from here or here, scars. Then if you're like myself, Caribbean, and you play mass, those bras that have gems and beads and shit, scars. Any scar you see on me from like this area is probably a costume or a bra. That's what they do to us. That's what they do to us. So I'm like, during my period, I'm like, my boobs, I know you love them, boo-boo, but you can't touch them right now. Like, they're so sensitive. So she said my underwires have tried to kill me before. Yeah, like, I had one come out and actually, like, stuck in my skin. And I was like, something's, like, kind of hurt it. Oh, pulled it out, and then it was bleeding. Like, y'all men don't know what we go through. That's why I'm like, bras had to have been created by a man. Pantyhose created by a man. And then you gonna tell me you got a cold. Baby, you need to take care of me. Sultrate stabbed you in the chin. I get that, because if your boobs are big enough, bras are just evil. Like, they're evil. Accidentally falling asleep with them on is one thing, but to do it on purpose? Nah, B. Like, that's the thing. If you accidentally fall asleep, that makes sense, because you could come home dead tired. Maybe it's after the club, whatever, whatever. But in the middle of the night, that bra ends up somewhere. Somewhere. Because you really just rodeo fling it and hope it lands in a good place. But to sleep it like a regular basis? No. Even if someone were to be like, Andie, if you do this, your breasts will stay perky for the rest of your life. I'd be like, well, I guess my breasts will not stay perky. Because I ain't sleeping in no bra. Like, it's just, no. But during my period, what about the other women? During your period, boobs, tender, maybe they stay normal. Like, for me, I'm just like, don't. This is off limits for right now. Unless I say otherwise, unless you get a memo coming down the pipeline that that's changed, right now this is off limits. Because it's just, man, I don't even know how to explain to you how it's like being kicked in the nuts and then somebody wants to like fondle your nuts right after you just got kicked. That's what that feels like. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. It feels like that. Just like explaining to a guy friend, cramps. When women get cramps, men, if you want to have like a slight idea of it. Okay, so Mademoiselle says very tender, don't touch. So we're the same. Just steer clear of this for like 4 or 5 days, just for right now. Cramps. So, you know, you go to the gym or you're working out and you get a leg cramp. And you're like, like that, you know, y'all seen Family Guy. It's like that at like a 10 for several days. Just imagine having a leg cramp for several days. And then tell me that I don't know how to experience pain. And then tell me, babe, is it your time of the month again? Didn't you just have your period? My nigga, I don't want it here just as much as you do. I don't. Man. Mademoiselle said she has to slap her son's hand away from touching her. I'm just saying. He's going to eventually become sensitive enough that whichever girl he dates, he's not going to do that. Jenna said, depends. Since I started my birth control, they aren't that sensitive anymore. That's usually when I like my boobs touched, because usually my boobs aren't fun to play with me. And that's the thing. I've learned that a lot of women are like, whatever they love when they're not on their period, sometimes it's the opposite. That they're like, yeah, no, don't want you to do that. And men get so confused because they're like, but you said you loved me touching your breast. So like, you don't want me touching it now? Nigga, if you even look at it sideways, I will cut you. And then your period goes and you're like, okay, touch him again. Ta-da. Like, yeah, twin, you got it. Peter Griffin syndrome. Selchi said, I've described my cramps as an international step dance competition going on in my uterus, except everyone is wearing stilettos. Okay. Jackie said, tender, sore, and swole. Oh my God, swollen. That's swollen feeling. Like, it's just, and I know women who've like gone through, like have carried a baby to term, you know of swollen breasts, but it's just, ooh. I'm just saying, man, I'm not even saying that you have to be like James and, you know, be buying us all the snacks and the stuff like that. I'm just saying, understand that even though it's something that is natural and it happens, many of the symptoms that us women have is just so unnatural. And if it was any other person, like just walking down the street having these symptoms, people would be trying to rush them to a hospital and not saying like, well, you still got to get up and go to work. Babe, I know you're on your period, but like, you're still gonna make curry chicken tonight, right? Like, just have a little bit more sympathy. Just a little. And I promise you that little bit more sympathy, she gonna be like, did you just make me tea when I didn't ask you to? I may be on my period, but nigga, you gonna get this pussy when I'm done. Like, it's, she'll be thinking. She'll be like, all right, he's doing things. Oh my God. Oh yeah. After pregnancy swollen is, especially women that don't know like about pumping and don't want to breastfeed, when you don't breastfeed, the swelling is like, there's not even a way to describe this. James was in here earlier, mademoiselle. Teddy bear. He might still be in the back. Are you still in the back there, James? But yeah, he was like, I had her snacks on deck, like tracking on calendar. And that's what I said. If you're dating a woman, for any, like, this is your moon, your stars, your world, track her period. I don't care what she says. If you think she's gonna be upset about it, do it in private, but like, track her period. And just do some nice things for her. Even if it's something like, babe, I knew your period was coming up, so I got you a heating pad because I know sometimes you say your back hurts. There is no woman that's going to be like, you know this motherfucker bought me a heating pad? Girl, dump him. Why you know fucking heating pad? What the fuck you think this is? Like, no. If my friend told me that her man was like, just, you know, babe, normally you got back pain, so I got you a heating pad, I'd be like, marry that nigga right now. Marry him. Like, what? Oh, Jenna, I feel like you might have told me that one before. When I tell you I almost had to pull over. I feel like you might have told me that story. No? Let me know if you have. Yeah, and then they look amazing. You didn't breastfeed, twin. Yeah, so it must have been hella painful. You were in hell. Clue is a great app for you and your partner to track your period. Thank you, mademoiselle. That's good. I didn't even know that there was one that you could. To this day! To this day! I'm sorry, y'all. That's like, between me and my other friend, Kim, that's our line. I'm just saying. Jackie said I did that too. But like, this happened Saturday, so maybe you're thinking about my biopsy. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe. No, I'm thinking more of like one of your periods that I feel like something was painful that you had to pull over. Maybe I'm messing up the story. But yeah. The app that I use is called Flow, and I love it because I'm that person that went through about 17 million apps. Do most women do that? Have y'all gone through like different apps to track your period? Because there's some that you'll be like, okay, this is stupid. I don't understand why you're telling me this. And then I have an app that a friend told me about. Let me see if it's on here. Of course it's not on here. But it actually tracks your symptoms. So it tracks your hormones and lets you know, like, this time of the month, if this is when your period starts, your hormones are going to be elevated, so you'll be happier, you'll be able to deal with school stuff. Like, it was actually pretty interesting. So it doesn't track your, like, your days the way normal apps would. It doesn't track your symptoms. It's more about, okay, tell me when your period starts and I'll tell you what hormones affect you in that first week, second week, third week, fourth week, and so on and so forth. But it's, I'm gonna try to find it and maybe post it in like the video description. It's such a good app, especially even just understanding, for example, even if the guys, if you guys want to download it and put your girl's cycle in there, but it tells you even about like, if you're more open to stuff that week, that you probably spend a bit more in like maybe the week before your period, or maybe you spend more in the week after. And there could be a week where you're very cautious, stay close to home, you don't want to go out as much, you don't want to be hooked up with anybody, and you are very cautious with your money, you're not spending as much as you would before. So even stuff like that, those, like, that's why I say your period is not just like a week thing. These are hormones that are just constantly going like an equalizer and just sort of trying to find their pattern each week. So the minute we stop treating our periods like this thing that we suffer through for a week and we just include it in the rest of our lives, then we're like, okay, I ain't gonna deal with people saying shit anymore to me like, why you, oh, Mademoiselle, it's so detailed and even breaks it down by like relationships, money, stuff. So they'll tell you like, you're in a place right now where your hormones are not receptive to meeting somebody new. So now is not a great time to start dating or make new friends or open a new account. Like, it just, and it doesn't tell you to say like, this is what you have to do. It's just more like, usually in this part, your hormones, like progesterone is being introduced, or they'll be like, in this week, progesterone is not as high, it's testosterone, so you have more of the aggression and being upset about stuff a lot easier, standing up for yourself maybe a little bit more than you normally would. And I liked that because the hormones is what we usually get affected with. We're so busy thinking of, oh, back pain and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, most women at a certain age, when you've had your period for so long, we know what to expect. We know certain symptoms that we're going to get. And yes, as you go into different phases of your life, certain things might change. But usually I've found with most women, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but it might just be that maybe when I was younger, I got back pain while I was on my period. Maybe now I get it before. Or maybe my breasts are tender before my period and before it was after. Like, it's more just about them moving. But Jackie said, Andie, I was still going to school after having my son. Those days when I couldn't pump were a nightmare. Bruised cabbage saved my sanity. I heard that about the cabbage. But yeah, it was like, y'all don't understand. It is so painful. And I actually want to have an episode about pregnancy and sex, because I think that's also another issue that men don't know so much about. And a lot of men are not the aggressive types. To me, the aggressive types are the rare ones. It's the men that are like, I probably seem indifferent, but I don't know what to say or to do, and I don't know how to make it better, because I could say something and you'll get upset, or I could say something and you'll start crying, and I don't know what the fuck to do. So the more that we talk about it, as in women, the more we're having conversations and not making it such a gross thing. I mean, it's gross, but it's something we have to deal with. Then they feel comfortable enough. Because just like Phantom said, he was learning stuff, because yeah, it's not that big of a deal. It is our hormones constantly trying to find a balance, but really, if you think of it like an equalizer, then it's not something that happens to us. It's not like an affliction or anything like that. It's not like you need to get it a vapor, she got her period. Like, And that's how we sometimes feel like we're treated. So most of the anger and frustration that women have is not because of our period hormones. It's because y'all keep saying shit like, oh, it's because it's that time of the month. Okay. So me buying a lottery ticket has to do with my period? Come on. And sometimes men, another thing, well, men, women, everybody, you don't have to say everything. Sometimes you can think something and just not say it. Like, I could see a woman and be like, those jeans don't look like they fit her. And that's it. If it was my friend now, I ain't gonna make my friend go out looking stupid. But you don't have to say everything. You could be sitting there and be like, my girl is on 15 right now, pacing back and forth. And I'm pretty sure it's because of her period. Should I tell her that? No. Don't tell her that. Ever. Just be like, babe, let's plot whoever we got to plot to kill. And I'm here for you. Your end goal should always be trying to get pussy and telling your girl, oh, well, are you pacing because it's that time of the month? And then you wonder why she turns into one of Khaleesi's dragons? You can't be. Twin said hormones are everywhere, back and pelvic pain. At one point, I was just like a rotisserie chicken with my heating pad. Like, just, now it's on my back. Now it's on my stomach. Now it's on my back. Now it's on my stomach. Like, I was just rotating. That's why I actually have like 3 heating pads. It's mainly for that and mainly because I just don't like being cold. But yeah. Guys, thank you so much for this show. We've actually been on here for just slightly over an hour and a half. It goes so well. Like, this show just goes so quickly of us chitty chatting and getting out stuff. I'm just always in shock. Jenna, yeah, you're getting shot. You're getting shot. Like, most men, I don't even say anything anymore. Like, the minute I hear, oh, you on your period? You just get the Kevin Hart. What do you think, Sylvester? Do you think I'm on my period right now? And what exactly is that defined as? How much different am I? Like, then you start to get the crazy. And you sitting there looking scared like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said anything. And my face, even though you don't read it very well, is saying, yes, you shouldn't have said anything. Because now, I'ma kill you. Like, oh my God. The time really does fly, twin. It just flies. Y'all are just awesome. Well, I hope at least the men in the back were at least learning a little bit, getting a little insight into the fact that, like, y'all are freaked out by our periods. Guess what? We're just as freaked out. Like, every girl at some point has been on her period and been like, ew. Like, it doesn't matter what age you were at, whether that was the beginning, whether it was at 36, you will have a moment of just like, oh God, let's not even, Jenna, we may scare all the men away with blood clots, because those things scare the shit out of me. And when you have fibroids or cysts, and those are at least the ones I know, it could be endometriosis or any of them as well, you are getting some serious blood clots. Like, I may have just passed a baby blood clots. Like, it's scary as fuck. And that's why, I mean, women are just sort of taught that this happens to you every month. You just gotta roll with it and deal with it. But at the end of the day, these are serious fucking things that are happening. Serious fucking things that are blood clots, like clotting. Just huge. So twin, with menopause as well, big blood clots. With fibroids, they're like, there's one situation that I was in the bathroom. Another thing that most people don't realize, heat is good for your muscles, so it's good for cramps. It is bad for bleeding. Your body will bleed quicker and heavier with heat. Yeah, Phantom, this is what we go through. And if you're prone to clots and you use a lot of heating pads like myself, just anything with heat, hot showers, you will bleed more. So I'm in the bathroom, I'm in the shower, cursing my life, cursing that I was ever born a woman, and cursing like every man. If there's any man like last month, mid last month, and you felt like a slight ping or like had a pain, it was me cursing your life, cursing that I'm just like, I'm standing in here and I literally thought I passed a baby. Like I really did. I called my mother and I was like, I didn't have sex, but I think a baby just came out of me, Mom. And my mom was like, girl, you are no immaculate. You would never have an immaculate conception. Come on now. Holy water probably just burn your skin. And I was like, facts. That's probably true. But yes, Jenna, that's another thing, the mucus. Like, your girl, another thing, guys, your girl could like constantly, and people will think it's an allergies thing, but it's, oh my God, just blowing your nose a lot, the sneezing. I think Sultry had mentioned, yeah, the sneezing the first couple days. Oh my God, mine would be like, you know that runny nose that isn't a full runny nose? Like, you know when you step outside and it's just cold outside, so your nose is just, you're sniffling, but there's no, when you go to blow your nose, there's nothing there. That's what my nose does. It's like, bitch, I'm gonna make you look crazy. I'm gonna make you be on the bus and have everyone watch you like, is that SARS? This bitch is sniffling. And then when you take out a Kleenex, when you finally find a Kleenex in your bag and go to blow, there ain't gonna be nothing there. Nothing at all. No drip for sale. It got drip for sale. Like, it's not even, there's no drip. There's no drip, drop, drip, drippity, drop. No. That's how my period likes to play games with me. And that's the thing. This thing that happens every month is just playing games with us. It is like Russian roulette. Let's see what symptom we can hit her with this week. Ooh, back pain and cramps, and her heating pad breaks down. Oh, mademoiselle, that's the other thing. Like, it's across the board. The women could be constipated or have diarrhea. Like, and see, just imagine, men, that like you come home from work, your stomach is killing you, you're hungry but you're feeling nauseous, your chest is just sore, no one can touch you, like, you can't touch me, and I have to take a shit, and my man is like, baby, let's do it right now. Do what? Do what? Nay, honey. Yeah, you know what? Reason why I mentioned that the show was going so well is that I will be cutting it off soon. But thank you so much, Phantom, for tuning in. And everybody else who tuned in. Jenna said constipated the 4 days before. Honestly, I will be that way before, and then when I'm on, I'm fine. But I used to be obsessed with what's the word I'm looking for? The things that help you. I don't know why I'm forgetting the word. The things that help you poo when you're constipated. What's the... Laxatives, thank you. I was like, why can I not remember the word? Best friends. Best friends with them. Like, best friends. Like, it's almost bad. I mean, I got a natural one, but it's almost bad how often I would have to use them. Because just like you, Jenna, it was like the days before. Jackie, what did Sultry say? I sneezed at work once and had to take my chair into the bathroom with me along with fabric cleaner and then go home and change. That happened to me. That actually happened to me. That happened to me from sneezing, and that happened to me from laughing. And it got to the point where like my employer knew. I would be like, yeah, this is like the first birthday. And eventually I ended up changing to the period panties. If you guys ever get a chance to invest in them, even if you're not partial to like just wearing a panty, wearing it as a backup helps so much. And when I was younger, Kotex used to have like the panties and you could actually wear them to bed with a pad. You had to wear it with a pad. But that thing, can you imagine being on your period and just spin kicking in bed and not being worried? Like, it was the greatest thing ever. I don't know why they stopped making them. But for any woman that has those spills regularly, the period panties if you want. If not, incontinence, the incontinence diapers. I'm sorry, I've used them. Like, bought them for my period, worn it with a pad. It's perfect. So if you have those issues at work on your first or second days, those are the best things, in my opinion. Because you know for sure, even if you have a spill or an accident, it's on another absorbent material. Twin said, I love the period panties, love them. But yeah, that's 110 minutes we've been on. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to end it here because usually an hour and a half is pretty decent. But, oh, they're back out, Twin? Yeah, so if the disposable period panties are great because you could just rip them off and throw them out. But if you don't have them in your area, those incontinence diapers that are geared towards senior citizens, they're great for bedtime. And really, you can buy like one box. And the thing is, nowadays, they have them in different colors. I bought black ones. They have tan, especially because they want to make women of that age feel more comfortable with having to wear diapers. Yeah, they're actually made to look a lot nicer now that you can wear them to bed. And it's perfect. Did we talk about the cup? We didn't talk about the cup, Sapio. I actually know a lot of, I don't know a lot of women that use the cup, and it's for that reason, but I had a friend that started using the cup and she loved it. I personally could not do it. Oh yes, Jenna, you have it too. My whole thing for it is that there's the cup. I know the Diva cup is like the actual brand name, but you can get the cup and you would put it in. It sort of fits like from your muscles and sitting at a certain point. Cause I think there's a certain point that you have to put it into. Jenna, you can let me know if I'm wrong. And it fills up you can feel when it's full, and then you'll take it out, dump it in the toilet, rinse it out, and put it back in. But yes, like Jenna said, they're nice, but you have to be comfortable with blood. And that's the thing, is being comfortable. I am not. Also, because of my phobia of public washrooms, and yeah, I just knowing that it could get full when I'm outside, stresses me out, that I would have to figure out how to empty it. And then with how heavy my first couple days are, I go through pads like one every hour and a half on my first 2 to 3 days. And that was before the blood clotting medication, so it's not as bad now, but yeah, that just freaks me out. I'm too clumsy for the cup. I'd have the bathroom looking like Carrie. That was all. I can't stand you. It's like, I'm too... Well, I mean, it's clean. I emptied it. I just didn't empty it. I was supposed to empty. Like, yeah. I couldn't deal with it either. Sapio said he knows that for everyone, and yes, they have different sizes. Thank you. So even if you found one that didn't fit, there are different sizes to see if they fit. But every woman I know who has one loves it. I will say that. I've never heard a woman say, like, I got the cup and switched back. No, every woman I know who has switched to the cup loves it. Okay, Jenna, I was actually telling Twin about this. So Jenna said, you really can't feel it when it gets full, but that could be me. I'm strategic. I put it in at 9 a.m. because it'll be coming out at 9 p.m. So you've gotten, and that's the thing, most women, no matter what form of, what would you call it? Like, they know exactly, we know exactly like how long. Like, women know, okay, if I've put a pad on here, I know when I'm taking it off. If I put a tampon in, I know when I'm taking it out. And even with the cup. But Jenna, my friend, said that she could feel it she would feel when she was full, I guess. And maybe it was, that could have been just in her mind, or, you know, you feel it at a certain, like maybe feel the pressure of it being full than when it's not full. The instructions say that you can put them in for 12 hours. Well, yeah, because it's sultry. You said I can't wear tampons. I never used to be able to. When I was like a teenager and probably my early 20s, I never used to be able to. And then I was like, you know what? I need to figure this out. Okay, so the cup, just like tampons, if you don't put it in right, you will know. Like a tampon, really, you should not be able to feel it. And so if you don't put it in right. Oh, another thing for period sex, I forgot to mention, you guys, like the sponge, which has been out for hundreds of years, that can also be used. People use that during period sex, that you could put it up there and sort of block the blood flow for a little while. And then when you're done, take it out and toss that sponge. And I know a couple women who have actually tried it and love it for that factor. Like they're like, I'm still horny during sex, but I don't want to deal with all that blood. The sponge helps a lot. Sapio said, I know I was out, but did you talk about teaching young girls about it so they don't freak out their first time? My wife had no idea when she first had hers. See, that's the thing with your period. I feel like there's so many, like your mother will teach you, okay, this is your period, this is what you do, and your mother's really just teaching you what she knows. Because even with my mom never used tampons, so she was like, these are the pads we use. They thick as fuck, so you're gonna feel like you're wearing a brick between your legs, and that's it. And it was more my research and education in like, okay, I can't be wearing these. I'm waddling in high school. Like, I can't be waddling. I can't, because everyone's gonna ask me what I'm waddling for. So I experimented. Sultry, I was like in my room with about, I'm not even gonna lie, like 10 tampons, just trying to get in there. And when you're tense, you're not gonna get it in there. Sapio said, I know I was out. Yeah. Isn't a sponge basically an ancient tampon? Yeah, pretty much, because it's really just about blocking, it's about blocking blood, and it's about blocking sperm. And so a lot of sponges, even at one point, would have spermicides in them, which were not a good thing. It's usually that era of the 70s when we all realized, oh, smoking's bad. Morning sickness pill that causes birth defects. What? Like, it's just the IUD. You can't get pregnant after it. What? Like all these things that we kind of figured out in the 70s. But I think most women, especially nowadays, this era and onward, were given something, whether it was a talk or a book or just something that we are educated. I just feel, Sapio, that most Black women are not educated on the actual menstrual cycle. Like, why is it happening to me? What is it about? Because most women are taught that you're having a period because your body was trying to prepare for a baby, and since you didn't give it one, it's revolting against you in this way. And really, it's just you shedding your lining. Like, it's just something that naturally happens. It has nothing to do with your body preparing for a baby. It's not your body preparing for your baby. Like, your body releases an egg, slowly going through your fallopian tube, and the egg's like, oh, there's no lining here? Cool. Like, that's actually, when you think about it, that's happening every month for, let's say, 30 years. When you have a baby, even if you have 5 kids, those are short pockets of time. And I don't say they're short in terms of being less, in terms of being easy. It's not easy, but it's like, okay, a 9, 10, let's say a year here, a year there. But compared to how many years you have of your period, it's not your body preparing for a baby that you've disappointed your body for. It is literally just something that our bodies shed a lining, and it happens to go that way. Shit just sucks. It just does. Jenna said, Well, my mother gave me pads when I started at 10 and gave me a book about periods, and they talked about tampons, so I knew I had options. For my generation, at least, and I know sultry, we're kind of the same generation. Mine started at 9. I thought I had sat in ketchup. I never knew what was going on. Mine was about the same age too, but I thought I peed myself, and it was actually on Halloween. I went out for Halloween. I remember this. I was a doctor, and I was like, I think I peed myself, but how do I not remember peeing myself? Twin said I was 11 and a half when I came on mine, but my mom gave me a book the year before about my period. And that's the thing. Even I remember after I got my period, so when my nieces would have been in their era, even I think Tampax or Always had like booklets, and you could get like the little first time period package that you'd have a booklet of like explaining certain things. But yeah, most women, they have a basic rudimentary understanding of it, but the things that happen, the symptoms that could be that we're being affected by, the hormones and different things that you could be doing that you don't even realize is a condition of it. Because even my hormones of like, oh, there could be weeks where I'm like, yeah, let's have fun, throw caution to the wind, like I just want to love fucking everybody. And then the weeks that I'm like, don't call me, don't talk to me, I just want to wrap up in this blanket and I ain't going nowhere. Mademoiselle, I used to have the Always book. Mademoiselle said, yep, I still have my Always book. I used to have it. I don't know what happened to it. Sultry said you were playing kickball and the boy, oh God, that must have been, little 9-year-old you must have been a very embarrassed, a little embarrassed. Because I would have been like, oh my God, everyone is noticing me. I'm gonna die. Like, that would have been me. But guys, thank you. Okay, we've gone to 2 hours. Do you see how quickly this time goes? Like, even from when I said it was an hour and a half to now we're at 2 hours. How did that happen? How did that happen, y'all? Thank you so much for everyone that tuned in. This was such a good conversation. So good. But y'all know, ladies, you know what's gonna happen next week. It's gonna be March, and the fellas are going to be taking over with their topics. I know. It's okay. We're going to hold hands and we're going to get through this together. We're going to get through it together. Thank you, Sapio. Saying it's nice to have a sexy teacher. Although it helps, too, to have someone like you contributing and letting us women know that there are men out there who care. Just like James mentioning, like, the things that you get her. By the way, I would like a Kit Kat. There's a windstorm outside. I'm actually half expecting like something to come through the window. I'm just joking, y'all. I'm on the 15th floor. If something came through the window, it better be Spider-Man. Let's not. Who should come through? What? Who should come through the window? Can I get a Black Panther character through the window? Can I? Chocolate, snacks, cuddles, and movies. See? Oh, Mademoiselle, we going to dress musty balls. We're going to have some... the topics for March are going to be dope. Also, there's going to be at least one episode that is going to be in the early afternoon because I'm trying to get Phantom in on it. And that's going to be the West Indian Caribbean men versus American men and the things we are told that they do and don't do. But the first topic, like next week's topic for the men that they've requested in abundance, is spitting versus swallowing. That's what we're going to be talking about next week. Spitting versus swallowing. Why we won't do it, why we spit it out, why we don't swallow. We're going to have these conversations with them. We're going to find out what they're most bothered about. Jenna says exciting. We'll see. We'll see, Jenna. Hopefully it's exciting. Hopefully it's exciting and it's not us women walking away every Sunday like, I'm about to kill him. I wish this nigga would show up in my house. I wish. Y'all can do input just the same as how Phantom and James, you know, jump in, especially See, Genesis, I'm prepared to drag, especially this spitting and swallowing, asking us why we don't swallow, why we won't just be good little girls and swallow their seed. And y'all know we've started talking about it in one of our other episodes, but we gonna tell them exactly why. Water. But we'll get into it next week. So yes, thank you all for tuning in. I love y'all. Y'all just make this show. Is that a heart? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So thank y'all, and I'll see you next week. Jazz hands. Y'all don't know how